Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Scott and Jaime Show. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jaime.
Jaime, we're doing it a little differently this week.
We are.
We always mix things up on the Scott and Jaime Show. So we went on the Facebook, right? I know it's called Facebook, but I like to make fun.
Yeah.
So we went on the Facebook and we asked people, what do you want us to talk about this week? And Melinda wrote in and said...
Hi, Melinda, by the way.
Yes, hi Melinda.
Thank you for writing in.
Thank you, Melinda. I've never met you, but hi.
She's fabulous.
She's fabulous? Great.
Fabulous.
We love fabulous people, and we love the word fabulous.
Yeah.
So, Melinda wrote, I'm reading it directly from my phone, how should we remember... Excuse me, I already messed up, but I'm going to read it again. I'm not used to doing it this way, but here we go. How we should remember I messed it up again, but we're going to keep going, we're going to keep rolling. So, how we should remember how beautiful and awesome we feel during amazing moments when we're having our worst moments.
Yes.
So, Jaime and I thought about that, and Jaime, why don't you start?
Yeah, so one of those, I mean, when you're having a really bad moment, it's tough. It's tough to go back and think about something happy to sort of get you out of it. In fact, in the research, there's something called foreboding joy, right? Where even when you're having a good moment, you can't fully experience the great moment because you're like, oh, this is so great. When's the shoe gonna drop?
Right. And my mom used to call it the Catholic guilt complex.
Yes.
So that when you're too many good things are happening, it's like, when's the bad thing gonna happen?
Yeah, so what happens if you're experiencing something really horrible, or if you're experiencing that sense of foreboding joy, is really to express gratitude. And I'll give you a great example, Scott. I was recently home in Michigan with my nephews. I have 3 nephews, 5, 3.5, and 6 months. Actually closer to a year now, but whatever.
That's very relevant.
Very relevant. And I'm reading them all a story. They love stories. I'm reading them a story. And I look down as I'm reading the story and I imagine what would happen if one of them passed away. And I start crying and the boys are like, what are you doing, Aunt Jaime? And I was like, I would be so sad. So sad. And in that moment, I was like, you know what? I'm so grateful that I have this time with them right now, because that's all I have guaranteed. So expressing that gratitude when you're feeling sad, expressing that gratitude when you're feeling foreboding joy is a great way to experience happiness in the moment.
That's right. That's a great example, Jaime. And the second area I'd like to explore is what we constantly talk about in Velocity and at Velocity is community. The importance of having a social network around you, and not just Facebook social network, but real live people who have blood through their veins and everything else.
In fact, Facebook may be the worst kind of social network for that.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's just, I'm old-fashioned. I believe in having the kind of community around you that's in 3 dimensions, and how important that is when we are going through a difficult time. Instinctively, oftentimes when we are feeling stressed and we are going in sort of that fight or flight direction, we isolate ourselves, which is the exact opposite of what we should be doing if we want to get out of the funk that we're in, or if we want to enjoy the great things that are happening to us. So share when you are down and share when you are up. And that's how you'll build the kind of community around you who will protect you, nurture you, and allow you to see the joy and sometimes experience some of the sadness in life, but you won't be doing it alone.
Yeah, we like to call that the perma posse.
Yeah, we call it the perma
posse.
Yeah, build your own perma posse. Perma coming from positive psychology, that acronym that we won't spell out here now, but it's this idea of you must build positive relationships in your life if you want to flourish. You can't do it alone.
And I think lastly, when you're struggling with something, is really understanding or creating wisdom around the fact that you really only learn from the tough experiences. Like when you are having a great time, it's very rarely when you're learning a lesson about who you are and your strength and your resilience. It's when you have gone through something extraordinarily difficult that you really understand how amazing it was to have the positive experience. And Scott, I know you like to mock me, but I was reading this edition of People magazine about the Boston attacks 7 weeks later, just 7 weeks ago.
Yes, and I'm smiling not because of the Boston attacks, but because People magazine. I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to literature, so.
So I was on a plane and I got this People magazine, and these women were all in the attacks, all lost a limb in the attacks, and 7 weeks later, if you read this article, they are talking about all these amazing things they've learned from it. And I think just 7 weeks.
Yep.
I know I keep saying 7 weeks
No, I
now,
know, but let's keep saying it.
7
weeks.
weeks.
It's only
You
been.
can create wisdom in such a short period of time.
It is amazing. And this is years ago, 20, 30 years ago, psychologists thought you've got to be crazy to think that people can actually grow from traumatic events. But post-traumatic growth is a reality. It has been shown scientifically to exist, just like the meowing cat next to us exists. But we're going to keep rolling because that's life. You know what? There are no second takes in life. So whether I mess up the intro or the cat meows, we go forward at velocity. So the point I'm trying to make is that only through times of stress do we really have the opportunity to grow. But that growth is a choice that you make. And the way to make it is to build that permaposse around you, that social network, that community that's important, to show gratitude when you are experiencing wonderful moments, and to make sure, most importantly, that when times get tough, that there are ways in which to use wisdom to realize that only from tragedy oftentimes can we really learn what life is really about and what makes it most meaningful.
Right.
All right.
Well done.
Thank you,
Great
Jane.
summary,
Yeah,
Scott.
thank you very much. And
Thank you, Melinda,
Yeah.
for sending in that suggestion. It was great to hear from
We
you.
love Melinda.
We do.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.